every single time. It's like a whoopee cushion is in here. No, I swear that was the couch. Hey guys, what's up and welcome to my channel. My name is Miley. If you are new here, I do a new DIY video every single week. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, you know what to do with that information. I'm a little nervous because this week I'm not doing a DIY. I am just sitting down and talking with you guys. Yeah! Can you tell I'm already pretty nervous? Okay. Cool. So I personally love to watch videos of other people, other artists, people in other fields, talk about the process of how they do whatever they do. And I thought it would be fun to do the same thing. One of the main reasons I wanted to do this is I usually try to keep my videos on like the shorter side of things, and I don't always do a deep explanation of why I do some of the things that I do. So I thought it'd be fun to do a deep dive into my process of how I design and plan out a space, or just plan out my DIYs in general. So yeah. And real quick, before I get started, I feel like this information is kind of important. I am not an interior designer. I didn't go to school for interior design. I've never worked with an interior designer. However, I did go to school for design. I went to school for costume design, and I used to work in film and television and on Broadway in New York. So in analyzing my process, I realized that I kind of design a space from a costume design perspective, just because that's what I have experience in. So now that you guys have that information, let's settle in here. I'm gonna sit crisscross applesauce because I'm an adult. I've got my water. Let's get started talking about my process on how I design out a space. So the first thing I want to talk about, let's all say it together, the vibe. What is the vibe? If you've seen any of my previous videos, I have talked about the vibe a lot. And I just always sum it up to, I know when something is or is not the vibe, and I just kind of leave it at that. So what is the vibe? It's not a tangible thing. It's a mood, it's a feeling, it's a story, it's an essence of a time, place, and person, all wrapped up into one. Just to sum it up, the vibe's deep. And for me, in every room, I want a different vibe. I want a different feeling, a different story being told. So I've never understood trying to carry out the exact same style throughout a whole house. There's ways to make your house cohesive without making every room like a carbon copy of the next. So here is how I establish the vibe and how you can too. Like most people in design fields, it's pretty common to create a mood board. But something that I learned in my design degree is to establish a mood, a feeling, a vibe. You want to find pictures that are anything but the thing you're designing. So for example, here are 3 photos I found to establish the vibe for my husband's office/lounge space. We have a campfire, we've got a cigar with like smoke coming off and bourbon in the background, at least I think it's bourbon, and then we've got a bear out in the wilderness. So I didn't have to show you a picture of a room to establish the mood and feeling I'm going for in the room. And I don't know if this is what interior designers do, but because of my background, when you work in theater, film, and television, you're telling a story, and you have to establish what that story is through your design. So that's how I approach the rooms I decorate, is telling a story or providing a feeling for my audience. And then once I have those like 3 to 5 photos that establish the vibe, this is when I start to get more specific and I establish a color palette. Of course, the easiest way to find your color palette is look at the colors that are in the photos that you found to establish your vibe. But if you don't like the colors in those photos, or say you found some like black and white photos, here is how you can take it a step further. So most people want to create a space they're comfortable in. And this little tip is definitely coming from somebody who studied clothing design. Go to your closet, pick out the 5 outfits you are most comfortable in. You can even add some shoes and accessories, and look at the colors, look at the patterns, and look at the material that are being used. Whatever you're comfortable wearing, you're most likely going to be comfortable using those same aspects in a room. So for example, not shown today, but I love black. I'm most comfortable in black, grays, dark colors, leather, neutral colors, all that stuff. So what do you think is in my house? A lot of blacks, dark grays, and neutral colors, and lots of leather. So those are my fun little tips on how you can establish the vibe and also establish the color palette. So I have the vibe and the color palette. I now write down everything that takes place in whatever space I'm designing. Because in my mind, if somebody designs out the prettiest space, but it's not functional, it's not a good design. So I try to make my spaces as functional as possible, which I know for a fact comes from my theater background, because you can design out the prettiest dress, but if somebody can't run off stage and do a quick change in 30 seconds and run back on stage, it's not a good design and it won't work. Well, so once I write down everything that's gonna happen in a room, the layout and the furniture and like the types of furniture that are gonna work in the space just kind of fall into place. For example, my little studio that I have, there's a lot of things that happen in this room. I do art, I film videos, I make other things as well, not just art. I'm also a hair and makeup artist, so I will have clients over and I have to convert that room to a hair and makeup studio. It can also work as a guest bedroom. So that's a lot of things that need to happen in that space. So all of the furniture I got is all very lightweight, it's all like modular and can be easily moved around. Even though I would love to have a more like substantial desk, it's just not gonna work in that space. So you've got the vibe, you've got your color palette, you've got all the functional things that need to happen in the room, and then you have your floor plan. This is when I finally sit down and start to look at pictures of rooms that fit into one of the categories. Using all of these photos, this is when I create an official breakdown of the room. I figure out what I already have that might work in the space, or if I have an item that I might be able to like flip and DIY to like work into the space. And then I also think about what I want to buy new. And then I also make a list of things I want to try to thrift or find on Facebook Marketplace. And then from there, I start to go and look for all of these items. And it becomes pretty apparent after like a week or so, if I can't find something, that I might have to build it from scratch. And that's when I get things like building a couch. I did not set out to build a couch. I actually was hoping to find something, but I couldn't. And if I found something, it was like thousands upon thousands of dollars. So that's when I sat down and had to realistically evaluate if I could make it or not. And the answer was yes. But every once in a while, sometimes if I realistically just don't think I'm gonna do a good job, that is when I know I'm gonna probably spend some money and splurge on whatever nice item I'm looking for. And that is it. That is my full process from like start to finish, how I plan out a room. And I want to leave you guys with a few budget-friendly tips you can easily implement into your room makeovers. Number one, if you can't DIY it or you just don't have the time to like flip a piece of furniture, go on Facebook Marketplace. There are a ton of dope local artists that will usually advertise through Facebook Marketplace. And say you want to paint a piece of furniture, but you just don't have the time or you're not comfortable doing that, you can leave it with them and they'll do it at a really reasonable price. Same for Etsy. There are a ton of dope artists and makers on Etsy that do things really reasonably, and you can commission them to make whatever it is you're looking for. Number two, rugs are expensive. That's not a tip, I realize that. Obviously, getting really big rugs that fill up a whole space can get pretty expensive. So what I do, and it just so happens I also like the look of this as well, I will get 2 smaller rugs that are different that contrast each other. I've done this in 3 rooms already. I did this in my bedroom, I did this in my husband's office and lounge space, and I also did this out in the patio. So for example, in my husband's space, I was looking at a big rug that was gonna fill the whole space, and the rug I was looking at was like $400 to $500. So instead of getting that $400 to $500 rug, I got a smaller little jute rug that was $75. And then I also found a cowhide on Facebook Marketplace for $75. And combining those 2 together and kind of layering them over each other slightly, it filled the space up, but it's also great for breaking up a space into different sections. So it's a win-win because it's cheaper and it can create a cooler looking space. Okay, and then, and then my final easy thing you can implement into your makeovers. I can't believe I am sharing with you guys my pro Facebook Marketplace tip, but here you go. Here it is. This is what I do to find all my dope items on Facebook Marketplace. So I don't set my Facebook Marketplace for where I live. There is a county that's 1 county over from where I live, and I set my Facebook Marketplace to be over there because you want to know who's over there? Billionaires. That's it. I set it for over there because all these very wealthy people are always getting rid of practically brand new things for next to nothing. Of course, I have an example for you guys. I don't even know how big it is. It's a very big rug. It's 14 by 18, I think. And I was looking at that exact rug online, or I mean, a very similar rug online, and the cheapest I could find was like $650. I think the one I really wanted was about $800. And it just so happened I had my Facebook Marketplace set for this county over, and an older couple in that county put on Facebook Marketplace the exact rug I was looking for $100. So that is how I got my dream jute rug for $100. And that is it, guys. I hope you like this video. I know this is very different from my normal videos, but if you liked this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification button so you know when I post, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.